Hey guys, welcome to my Friday craft. I'm going to start off with this aged gray and we're painting over this today, and I'm actually painting over the mirror. I opted to do that because I feel like the mirror um, dated it some and I wanted to give it kind of a new life. So I just decided that I was going to paint over the mirror instead of replacing it or anything. This paint actually went over the mirror really well, and I didn't have any problems with it streaking or anything else. So I just actually decided that I was going to switch my brush because there's all kinds of little tiny details all around this frame, and it was going to be easier for me to get in between there. I turned the mirror the other way because, you know, as you look at something from a different angle, you see all the little odds and ends places that you missed. So I think it took me about 2 coats to cover everything completely. Although this paint is, it covers well. I just wanted to make sure that I got all the little nooks and crannies and that everything was cohesive looking. So the next product that I'm going to use is going to be this Rust-oleum Chalk Chiffon Cream. And I'm actually not painting with this. I'm doing a dry brush technique. So you can see I'm actually loading my brush very lightly, and I'm actually then pouncing it off on the paper, and I'm just doing a dry brush technique on here. And I'm actually, I don't show it here, but I do go in kind of 2 different directions just to kind of give it some texture. And I have some close-up pictures here, just so that you can kind of see what that looks like and what that texture looks like. So after I let that dry, I take my next product, which is the Gilding wax, and everybody knows how much I love this because I've talked about it several times. And I'm going to use my finger and take that and hit the highlights. I'm gonna do 2 passes on this, but the first pass is just gonna be a very light on the top of everything. I'm not kind of like smudging down in there. I'm just kind of getting hitting the tops of everything to kind of bring out all the little details. And the great thing about this wax is that once you get it on there and it dries, it's on there. It's not going to smudge off or anything, and that's why I really love it. And it's great on a lot of different text surfaces, and even glass or surround anything. It just covers well. So the second pass, I'm going to go for a little bit heavier, just to kind of make it look like it was like covered in gold, and that over time it wore off. So I am doing a couple of little areas where I'm doing heavier coating on there. So after I let that dry, I go for my transfer, and I pick a couple out of here, and I'm going with the French theme type of thing today. So I pick the 2 out of that I want, and decide that I'm gonna give it a go with these. And I was kind of nervous about using these because, as you know, French type of stuff isn't really like my style, so I'm not always sure that what I'm looking at actually looks good, or you know, if it would actually go with somebody's decor. But I feel like it came out well. The painting came out well, and I just feel like it's a very cohesive look. So I'm just trimming off the sides here so that I could fit that down into it. I opted to kind of stay in that middle section because I didn't want to go up and over the sides of the edge there of the border, because I wanted it to look like a window, like you were looking out of a window, and in the distance you see the Eiffel Tower and stuff. So that was kind of my thought with this. So I got it all trimmed up so it fits well, and I'm just placing it, looking to make sure I have it straight. And I am gonna now start transferring that on there. These transfers come with a transfer stick, but somehow I lost mine, and so I'm using a popsicle stick. I'm burnishing it down here to make sure I don't have any edges that are not completely down, and that it's stuck well. So now I'm going for the second transfer that I picked out of this pack, and I am making sure that it goes well where I want to put it, and I'm gonna trim off one side so it kind of lays flush up against that border there. So I'm sorry I'm out of frame, but the only thing I'm doing is really trimming off the sides so that I can get it fitted in there and stuff. So I'm just trimming off the one side so it's flat, just to kind of give you an idea. So it's flat, so it won't cover so much of the Eiffel Tower. I just kind of want to make it seem like it's, she's off to the side kind of looking out. So it turns out really well. These transfers actually layer well. They stick. You can layer, I've layered up to like 4 transfers on top of each other just to kind of go for that layered 3D look. I think by being able to layer it, it just kind of gives something to it. It doesn't look so flat, which is really great. So that I got it placed, and now I'm just transferring it down, and it's pretty easy at that. So I get that placed, and now I'm looking for some flowers. I go for this transfer pack, and I'm just picking out what I think will look nice there. I want some flowers that are not too big because I don't want it to kind of overpower what else is going on in this little scene here. So I get what I need, and I am going to then cut this page apart so that I can use the elements on here that I want to use, and kind of fit them in the space that I need to fit them in. So the great thing about these is that there are spaces in between the pictures or the different flower pictures here, so that you are able to kind of cut them apart, and you're not kind of cutting into the transfer itself. Although, I mean, it's not bad if you do, because they're just so great, and they just like kind of fall together. They're just so easy to use. So my thought is that I'm gonna put these around the border because I really want them, like I said, to kind of like they're outside of the window, kind of framing the window, and so that they're not kind of like, just out in the middle of everything. So I opted to have them coming out from the border, like, they're kind of hanging over the window, and you're looking out, and you kind of have this layered effect. So the flowers are closer to you because they're right on the window, and then in the distance is the Eiffel Tower. So here I'm just kind of measuring and kind of freehand trimming it. I am a poor planner, so most of the time I just have an idea, and then kind of go for broke and see what I can make out of what I have. So, but this came together very well. I was super happy with the way that it was. Any of the pieces that I actually trimmed from here, I was able to use to kind of add some add to some areas that I felt were a little flat and lacking. So you could see here I'm using like a little tiny piece that I cut off from something else to kind of fill a little gap that I saw there. So I'm using a little tiny pair of scissors because the piece that I have is very small, and I just felt like this would get in there better. But you want to be careful because you don't want to scrape. You don't have to scrape at all hard with these scissors because they're metal and it's on a hard surface and it comes off so easy, and I want to make sure that I'm not going to scratch what's already there. So I'm using a very, very light hand at this. So once I get everything placed and I'm happy and it looks good to me, I then take it out and I clear coat it, so that that way I can, if I need, if anybody needs to wipe it down from sitting, it gets dusty or whatever, then, you're able to do that. So here's some pictures of the finished product and what it looks like. I think I got fairly close to my inspiration picture. I'm pretty happy with this. I felt like it just came out really well. It's not really my style, but it's definitely, I feel like a really pretty piece. So um, I'm really happy, and this will actually be for sale on my website if you're looking for it. So here's a list of the products that I use in order and pictures, so that if you're looking for it, if you want to do a similar treatment, you have all the products here listed, and you can easily find those where they sell these products. So um, again, thanks for coming, thanks for watching, and I appreciate you stopping by. Until next Friday, have a great weekend.